Ma'am, it is often asserted every time there is a discussion of any Hindu temple being reclaimed today that ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, there is nothing unique. हर बंदे ने यही किया है, हिंदुओं ने जैनों के साथ किया, बुद्धिस्ट के साथ किया. अच्छा, यूनिक बात यह है कि हिंदूज के साथ जैनों और बुद्धिस्ट ने कभी नहीं किया होता, सिर्फ हिंदुओं ने जैनों और बुद्धिस्ट के साथ किया होगा. ये पॉइंट नंबर 1 है. तो ये क्या है, क्या है मामला?
Now, I'm glad that you've asked this question. I have a couple of points to make. The first and most important point is that the sacred structures of Jains, Buddhists, and what we call Hindus always existed alongside. Mathura was an important center of Indian art, Indian aesthetics, and Indian image building. Image building is supposed to have begun in the city of Mathura. And the important thing is that the same artisans built images for Jains, Buddhists, and Hindus. So there were colonies of artisans, and their services would be available to whoever required them. So it's the same artisans. And secondly, in all these places, there was no record of conflict. Now in Mathura, there was a very important Jain center, Kankali Tila. It had very many Buddhist, Jain structures. And when the British excavated that site, they were amazed to find the remains of a Buddhist stupa also over there. If you look at any other place, if you go to Mahabalipuram, you will find the temples of Vishnu followers, Shiva followers alongside. Khajuraho, the Khajuraho kings, they were followers of Vishnu and Shiva, and they built many beautiful temples at Khajuraho, some of which are still standing there. And in that same Khajuraho, their ministers were Jains. So the Jain ministers built Jain temples in that very same Khajuraho. So it is this is a canard which has also been spread by a certain group of historians who want to project Hindu society as mutually destructive and full of animosity towards each other. I'm not saying that there were no cases of tension, but to say this was the norm is not true. You go to the Western Deccan, you go to the Western Maharashtra, and you will see these beautiful cave temples. And all these cave temples have Buddhist, Jain, and Hindu caves in that same site. And there are examples of people who are not Jains sponsoring a Jain cave and vice versa. So the people were not at war with each other. Now, in my book, I discussed this issue of Hindu iconoclasm because, this is a theme of Marxist historians that Islam did nothing new. In fact, Muslims only followed the established subcontinental practices. And what were these established subcontinental practices? Hindu kings were all the time attacking each other's temples and images. So I did that study. You mentioned some of the cases that I had studied. All these cases, they had one common story. And that was, if a Hindu king attacked the kingdom of a rival Hindu king, he brought back the image in the main temple. He brought it back and erected a temple in his own kingdom to make sure that that image is revered and worshipped with due honor and reverence. There is no case of a Hindu king taking an image from a rival Hindu king's kingdom and vandalizing it, desecrating it. The one exception that you have mentioned in the Raj Tarangani, it was a quarrel between two kings, and the king of Kashmir told the king of Bengal that you can come and I'm giving you a pledge on the Murti of Vishnu. I swear on the image of Vishnu that no harm will come to you when you come to my kingdom. But harm did come and the king died. The king of Bengal was killed and his followers came to take revenge on the image of that deity who had failed to protect their king. So it is a feeling of hurt towards that image that you didn't live up to your promise that you will protect our king. And to take this one solitary case and to say that Hindu kings were routinely desecrating temples of rival kings is stretching things a bit too far.